So a final thought before leaving this section is to remember that as long as you're the one trying to fix the marriage, you'll always be bringing your masculine energy to the dynamic. And that's what leads you directly into cultivating a contentious spirit. We talked about that in part 1, the contentious wife. But I wanted to remind you that as a former contentious wife, I can promise you that by continuing to focus on what isn't yours to control, it's only going to lock you further into the dynamic that you're trying to change. There are a couple of ways, signs, that you can tell if you're heading deeper into that mindset. Signs that you're developing the spirit of a contentious wife without maybe even realizing it. I know it's not your intention, just like it wasn't my intention either. And I know your heart is in the right place. You just want to make your marriage better. But as long as you're operating out of that masculine energy, and as long as it's pointed in your husband's direction, the possibility of a fixed marriage is just going to get further away. The first sign is that there's arguing. It's inevitable that contention's going to be a regular part of your marriage dynamic. That's the nature of relational imbalance. It's not like normal discussions or disagreements that happen. It's going to happen a lot. In fact, it's like arguing is the default in that kind of marriage. The next sign is that it's you who's leading, which means you're controlling. When you want the outcomes to be a certain way, instead of waiting for him, it's you who steps in and takes charge whenever something needs doing or doesn't go the way you want it to. The last sign that you're sinking deeper into that kind of spirit is that it's you who's providing more and more solutions. When you take on all the fixing and problem solving, it's not going to just foster resentment in your husband. It'll happen in you too in the long run. That's why you're beginning to feel discontentment and dissatisfaction. By meeting your husband's masculinity head on with your female testosterone-driven actions, you could actually be hurting him if he's wounded and dysfunctional. By stepping into the functions that he's supposed to be responsible for, even though you think you're helping, you're inadvertently creating more distance between the two of you. Healthy masculinity isn't interested in that. He's going to lean back away from you. However, if you're married to a wolf in sheep's clothing, even though he complains about the conflict and tension, he's going to lean into it, not away from it. He likes it because conflict wears out a female faster, and that means you're easier to manipulate. Also, he can strategize it so that he looks like the victim of a contentious, domineering, and overbearing wife. Remember, a NABAL type of man wants the energy exchange from frustration, confusion, and chaos.